What's up everyone, Willie Apple here, and today Apple has released macOS Ventura 13 to everyone. In this video, I'll be showing you what is new inside of the software. So if we take a look right here, the build number is 22A380. So the A indicates that this is the first version of macOS 13. This is the first feature inside of macOS 13, the redesigned system preferences. And if you take a look at the top right here, it now says system settings. So system settings got a major overhaul, and it looks a lot better in my opinion. It's a lot easier to navigate, and especially if you have an iPhone or an iPad especially, you'll know how to navigate this right away. And wallpaper is obviously right here, and we even have our screensavers right here as well. So yeah, and that's right, we get a new dynamic wallpaper for macOS Ventura. It looks like this, and it has a dynamic version, so it changes throughout the day. It has a regular light one and a regular dark one. Personally, I like the dark or the dynamic better depending on what mood I like. And we also got a brand new screensaver as well. So here's the new Ventura screensaver. It's just like the Monterey one where it's based off the Monterey wallpaper, except it's now Ventura wallpaper. We even got a couple of new features inside of here. So we take a look at accessibility and audio. You'll notice that we now have something called background sound. This works exactly the same like it does on iPhone and iPad. We actually got this in iOS 15, but I guess Apple did not know where to put it from macOS 12. They probably waited to redesign system settings and just make it into here just like it is on the iPhone and iPad, since this is in the same exact place. Oh yeah, and before inside of system settings, resetting would be you need to go to the system preferences icon and then erase all content and settings. Now it is in settings, general, and then transport or reset, and then erase all content and settings. And this does the same exact thing as macOS 12, where it opens up a new program from macOS 12 called Erase Assistant. I'm kind of glad that Apple put it inside of system settings instead of inside the menu bar right here, because if Apple kept system preferences, we probably would have a big mess inside of the menu bar. But don't worry, every single setting inside of system preferences is inside of system settings. Network utility got completely removed from macOS 13. In macOS Big Sur, they completely deprecated it since it's not really used that much. And inside of macOS 13, they completely got rid of it. So it was kind of useless. And by far the biggest feature inside of macOS 13 is a feature called Stage Manager. So you'll notice that I have Stage Manager currently enabled, and you can see I can switch between apps just right here. You may have heard of this from iPadOS, but it's actually also on macOS as well. So upon turning it off, it will just basically stack all the windows right here, and turning it back on is just right here. And you may be wondering like how I was, what was right here? What actually was keyboard brightness. It's actually inside of Control Center settings, and upon scrolling down you'll notice keyboard brightness, and you'll see you'll have the toggle for showing Control Center. Now my personal favorite feature are the inclusions of the clock and weather app. So I actually been asking for this for a while actually. Ever since I switched to Windows, I used to use clock all the time. It was non-existent in macOS, but now it exists in macOS. But I have to warn you with the alarm feature. So with your wake up alarms, they actually may not play. So be sure to have a backup on your iPad, iPhone, or HomePod. Apple is aware of the issue, but they're not sure what is causing it right here. As you can see, they're unable to diagnose it, but hopefully this gets fixed inside of macOS 13.1. And the weather app, it's just like how it is on iOS and iPadOS. You'll see clicking it just shows the graph, just like tapping it shows the graph inside of iOS. It just looks really good. I really like it. It's just Apple taking advantage of their Catalyst features a lot more. Now another feature that a lot of people may find useful is a feature called Continuity Camera. So actually for my webcam right now, I'm using my iPhone as a webcam. You're able to see right there, my iPhone is right there and it's being used as my webcam. So my hand, I'm able to cover and everything. It's just a really cool feature. It is really convenient, especially for content creators who use their phone as a webcam. The intended use of it is for video calls. For example, in FaceTime, if we were to go to video right here, we can actually switch it to our camera right here. And right here, this is what it is before. I have a weird camera angle for my MacBook currently. So I'm using my phone camera, and you notice the big difference. You can even add some effects right here. For example, studio light and portrait mode. And you can even use center stage. So that's where it basically follows you around. As you can see, you see my HomePod there now. And it's just really cool. And there's even something called desk view. So if we were to take a look at our video effects right here and click on desk view, it's not that good with my angle, but if we were to start desk view, you would see my iPads right here. And it's basically for video calls. It is meant to be used with the camera mount accessory that you would stick on top of your MacBook, and that's how you would use desk view. You can even zoom out, zoom in, it's just really customizable a little bit. Another huge feature inside of macOS 13 is the ability to unsend and edit messages. So I'm going to send my sister a message here. Let's say I did not want to send this to my sister. I could just undo send, and it just disappears just like that. So before, when iOS 16 came out, this feature was not available on macOS quite yet. So there are a few issues, so macOS 13 fixes it. You can even edit a message, so let's say I want to edit that, and I can just edit just like that, and I can even unsend it, and you'll see I unsent 2 messages, and it's just a lot more convenient. The home app also gets redesigned. So as you can see right here, the home app is very different. I could turn off my lights, now it's pretty dark in here. I could turn them back on, I can even turn on all the lights that I was supposed to have on, so my lighting is a lot better. And to customize it, I just click right here. Before you had to click and hold it, which was pretty weird in my opinion. I did not like that at all. So now that we're able to turn it on with just one click and then customize it with one click, is a big game changer for me. And you're even able to move them around, and you can stack them right here. And it's just very responsive. I really like this a lot. And we even have more wallpapers to choose from right here, and it's really nice. Personally, I like this one the best, so I'm gonna keep it like that. Find My actually gets a new sound. So if I were to ping my MacBook right here, wait a little bit. You hear that the sound completely changes, which is very nice in my opinion. Along with that, we even get some new Siri sounds right here. I will play them since you actually need to have AirPods in order to hear them properly. And they sound a lot more modern. I will definitely miss the classic Siri sounds. We got a brand new feature inside the Photos app. If we were to go to our settings, we have the iCloud shared photo library. So basically how it works is you could actually add participants, so I could add my sister or my parents right here, and we would basically have our own shared album that we can add to, and everyone would see the photos. It's just a very nice way to add photos without needing to like airdrop and stuff like that. And when iOS 16.1 and macOS 13 does roll out, I'll definitely set this up for my family. Now Finder gets a few new changes. If we were to go to our downloads folder, I have a couple of things right here. So we have a couple of new quick actions. One of them is removing the background. So if we were to take a look right here, the background got removed from my knockoff Sofa the Couch logo. Don't ask why I made that. So this is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like after. The background got completely removed. It is kind of similar of what we got in the Photos app with iOS 16. Live text also gets a little update. For example, I can now copy the macOS Ventura thing, and I can even go to a text document and paste it just like that. This even works for YouTube videos inside of Safari. It doesn't work inside of Google Chrome. I've actually used that for a week and I not really like it. So if I were to go into one of my videos, you're able to see the live text button, and upon clicking it, it shows us all the text that's copyable. Here's the example of YouTube videos. I just need to pause it and I could just copy text from a YouTube video. You could even copy text from screenshots without needing to open them in preview. For example, if I wanted to, you see the live text button down here, and now you don't need to press the share button and go into preview. I thought that was very annoying, especially for school projects where I just want to just copy text and then just copy it into a text document just like that. Simple as that. So thank you Apple for fixing that. We also have support for multiple controllers, so unfortunately I cannot get a hold of multiple controllers, but if you have Joy-Cons and the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, those are now officially supported. So before, the Switch Pro controller was not that great inside of macOS, but it was supported. But now we have full controller support with Ventura, and it's a lot better. It even reads inside of emulators if you like those. Focus gets a lot more customizable, so if we were to go to Focus and go to one of our focus modes, we are able to add people and even block a couple of people. We can allow people or even silence some people. But I actually wanted this ever since Focus came out, so it's very nice that we finally got this. But obviously I'm not gonna have silenced some people for a school thing. I would want to block everyone. And this thing, which I don't really care about, is called focus filters. You could have a tab group, you could even filter message conversations and mail conversations, and even calendars. So I don't really see myself using this, but it is nice that it is here for the people who would. Oh yeah, you even have allowed apps and silent some apps for the notifications as well. But unfortunately for macOS, we don't have like Launchpad pages or anything like that, or even desktops. So hopefully those get added with macOS 14. We even have duplicates inside of the Photos app. So we're going to take a look at duplicates. You can see I have 2 of some of the wallpapers inside of here, and 3 Steve Jobs and 3 blank images. I could actually Command A everything and then merged, and I could do merge 80 exact copies, and then it will merge everything I have right here, and I'll only have 80 copies instead of 160 plus these. We also get a couple of updates inside of Mail. So we got the same exact features, just like with the Messages app inside of Mail. We're actually able to undo send. That's probably the biggest feature inside of Mail, and probably some that most of you will use. Some of them are not that useful. For example, follow-up. It could be useful for some people, but personally for me, I don't think follow-up would be useful. It's basically gonna add like a follow-up button somewhere in here, where we could ask, hey, can you follow up on this email? You'll be able to do that straight from Mail. Now we even get a couple of new features inside the Reminders app. We're actually able to pin lists. So just like with pinning messages, we're not able to pin lists up here. We even got a new one called Completed, and we're even able to hide some of the default ones that we've always had. For example, the day, schedule. So if I did not like the completed one, I could just hide the completed one. And to bring them back, you just go to View and show Smart Lists, and these are considered Smart Lists. And I just need to add flags since that's the other one I removed. But personally, I don't see the use for flagged or completed, so I would just hide those and maybe pin the homework one that I have right here for writing down all my homework. And yes, there's a test I should be studying for. Music gets a couple of new features so these sortings were never here inside of macOS 12, but it was added somewhere inside of iOS 15. So we were able to sort everything by year. You're able to see that Piano Man in my playlist is the oldest song right here. We can even sort by genre, which is all pop, and even sorting by album. So unfortunately, I don't think I have a lot of the same albums right here at time from shortest to greatest. So it's just nice that we finally got this inside of macOS. And we even have search inside of playlist. So this was never here, but now we have it inside of macOS 13. We're even able to follow artists. We just click on the star, and we're able to get notifications right here when they release a new album or new song or something. Notes can now also be pinned to the top of the folder, so if I were to pin a note, it would be pinned right here. If I were to create a bunch and even edit some, this note right here will always stay at the bottom below the pin note. If I were to unpin this note, the note would just go down here. Thanks for watching this video about macOS Ventura. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below, and be sure to update since there are a lot of brand new features inside, and it's also a lot smoother than Monterey in my opinion. So thanks for watching, comment, like, subscribe, share this with your friends, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!